Let's play a game of absolute, unfiltered honesty. If you go online right now and type the word bankruptcy into a search engine, you are going to find a terrifying wall of warnings. You'll see articles claiming that if you file for bankruptcy, your life is effectively over. They say you'll never be able to buy a house again, you'll never be able to finance a car, your credit score will drop to zero, you won't be able to rent an apartment, and you'll carry a permanent financial scarlet letter for the rest of your days on earth. It is enough to make anyone slam their laptop shut, hide the bills under the mattress, and continue living in a state of perpetual panic. But today, we are going to look past the internet scare tactics. I am Sean Quinlan, a consumer bankruptcy attorney right here in Pennsylvania, and I am going to give you the raw, unfiltered, completely honest answer to the question, will bankruptcy ruin your life? No sugarcoating, no legal jargon, and no corporate sales pitches. Just the cold, hard legal reality of exactly what happens to your life, your credit, your property, and your career when you click that file button. Let's start with the absolute baseline answer. Does bankruptcy ruin your life? The short, definitive, legally backed answer is no. In fact, for the vast majority of people who are genuinely drowning in unpayable debt, bankruptcy is the exact tool that saves their life from financial ruin. But I am not going to sit here and tell you there are no consequences. There are real objective impacts that you need to understand before you move forward. Let's break down exactly what happens next. The direct impact, what actually happens to your credit score. Let's address the elephant in the room first, your credit score. Yes, filing for bankruptcy will impact your credit report. A Chapter 7 bankruptcy will remain on your credit report for 10 years from the date of filing, and a Chapter 13 bankruptcy will remain for 7 years. But let's look at the real-world mechanics of how this actually affects your ability to borrow money. Many people believe that your credit score drops continuously for 10 years. That is a massive misconception. The biggest drop happens the exact day your case is filed. If you have a credit score of 700 and you file bankruptcy, your score might drop anywhere from 100 to 150 points into the mid-500s. If your score is already in the 500s because you have late payments, collections, or high debt utilization, you might only see a minor drop, or your score might actually increase slightly within a few months because your outstanding balances are erased. The day your bankruptcy discharges, your credit score begins its recovery phase. Why? Because you have zero credit card debt. Your debt-to-income ratio is perfect. You cannot file for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy again for another 8 years, which means to a new lender, you are actually a very low risk. You can't run away and wipe out their debt tomorrow. Because of this, you will be absolutely flooded with credit card offers within 3 to 6 months of your discharge. Now, these initial offers will have high interest rates, and you must treat them with extreme caution. But if you take one of those secured or low-limit unsecured cards, use it once a month to buy something small like gas or groceries, and pay the balance down to zero every single month, your score will climb rapidly. In my practice here in Pennsylvania, the vast majority of our clients see their credit scores rebound into the mid to high 600s within 1 year, and many clear a 720 score within 24 months of their discharge date. The asset reality. Do you get evicted or lose your home? Now let's talk about your living situation and your property. Will bankruptcy cause you to lose your home, get evicted from your apartment, or have your car repossessed? Let's start with renting. If you are currently renting an apartment and you file for bankruptcy, as long as you are current on your rent payments and you choose to assume that lease, your landlord cannot evict you simply because you filed for bankruptcy. Federal law explicitly prohibits landlords from discriminating against or evicting tenants solely based on a bankruptcy filing. Now, if you try to move and apply for a new apartment immediately after filing, A landlord will see the bankruptcy on your credit report and might require a larger security deposit or a cosigner. But it does not prevent you from having a roof over your head. What if you own a home? In Pennsylvania, we use a combination of federal and state laws to protect your home equity. Under the federal bankruptcy exemptions, an individual can protect up to approximately $27,900 of equity in their primary residence, and a married couple filing jointly can protect double that amount, nearly $55,800. Furthermore, if you are married and the home is owned jointly, but only one spouse owes the debt, Pennsylvania's powerful tenancy by the entireties doctrine can completely protect the entire home from individual creditors. As long as you are current on your mortgage payment and your equity fits within these generous legal exemptions, the court will never touch your home. You keep your house, you keep your mortgage, and your family remains safe. What about your car? The exact same rules apply. Under the bankruptcy exemptions, we can shield thousands of dollars of equity in your vehicle. If you have an active car loan and you want to keep the car, you simply sign what is called a reaffirmation agreement, or you continue making your standard monthly payments. As long as you pay the lender, the repossession truck will never show up at your door. Employment and long-term lifestyle impacts. Let's look at your career. Can you lose your job if you file for bankruptcy? Can your boss fire you, pass you over for promotion, or demote you because they found out you filed? The answer is a definitive, absolute no. This protection is explicitly written into federal law under Title 11 of the United States Code, Section 525. This statute legally prohibits government agencies and private employers from discriminating against you, terminating your employment, or altering the terms of your job solely because you filed for bankruptcy or failed to pay a debt. Your job is fully safe under federal law. Now, let's talk about future employment. If you are applying for a highly sensitive financial position, such as a high-level executive at a bank, a licensed stockbroker, or a position requiring a top-secret government security clearance, a future employer will run a credit check. A recent bankruptcy can be a factor they look at. However, in many cases, government security clearance investigators view a completed bankruptcy as a positive indicator rather than a negative one. Why? Because someone who has wiped out their debt is no longer a target for blackmail or financial manipulation. You are far less of a security risk than someone carrying $100,000 of hidden past due debt. So let's weigh the scales honestly. What is the real alternative to bankruptcy? If you choose not to file and you continue drowning in unpayable debt, what does that do to your life? It means your phone never stops ringing with harassment. It means you face constant lawsuits, frozen bank accounts, and liens on your home. It means the constant toxic stress tears apart your marriage and your health. It means you spend the next 15 years robbing your future self to pay interest to credit card companies. When you look at it through that lens, bankruptcy doesn't ruin your life. Continuing to live in a permanent cycle of debt is what ruins your life. Bankruptcy is the cure. Don't let unearned fear keep you paralyzed in a situation that is destroying your peace of mind. Get the objective, honest facts from an expert who understands the law completely. If you are ready to stop guessing about your future and want an honest assessment of exactly how bankruptcy would impact your credit, your home, your car, and your life, click the link below in the description box. Set up a completely free, entirely confidential financial strategy session with our firm. We will sit down, map out your options, and help you make a smart, informed decision for your family. Make sure to hit that like button if this video gives you some clarity, subscribe to the channel, and drop your questions in the comments below. I'll see you in our next video.